What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of D4 to Your Eternity. This is episode 18, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah, so, where to start? I mean, this has to be one of the most disturbing and darkest episodes of the series that I've ever seen.
I kind of figured it would go this direction, considering we got like kind of a tease for what would happen here in the opening with the people turning into zombies and stuff, and it looked like it would be some kind of a parasite or... And I guess this is technically one of the knockers, but it looks like some kind of weird like brain parasite that turns people into zombies.
Well, just considering the fact that the knockers have gotten a lot more powerful in how they can take over certain things, it's just almost unimaginable at this point, because it just seems like the knockers always seem to have a much bigger upper hand against Fushi than before now.
Well, I mean, this one seems much more like, I mean, this one's under the ground and it can just take over any corpse or any living person pretty easily. So, I mean, this is probably I would say this is probably the most formidable knocker out of all the ones that Fushi's had to fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably learning from everything that it's all the different fights that Fushi has had to deal with from before, but it looks like it's kind of even a bigger upper hand over Fushi, because now it can take over like people that he can recognize, and obviously, like it's like it certainly did get the upper hand on several occasions. But I knew these characters were going to die, but I did not know that it would happen so quickly. I mean, that's like literally the worst way possible to go. But basically, the episode starts with Tonari pretty much making it back to the island to try to save Fushi. However, we find out that Fushi already escaped that that pit that he was thrown into. So he pretty much admitted that that it was easy for him to get out of, and he basically just used his mole form to just get out of it in the first place, which is kind of funny. And then of course, so like Tonari and Fushi try to get out, but they can't leave because there's there's a storm coming, so they had to stay behind on the island for an extra day. And then they have this discussion about pretty much like learning more about Tonari's history, about her thoughts about her dad, like whether or not her dad killed her mother, or what she was thinking when her dad killed like many competitors at the Coliseum.
Yeah, she's convinced that, and I guess we really don't know for sure, like, but she's convinced that because of, I guess the way her dad was when she killed people in the Coliseum, that he could have actually murdered her mother.
Well, I mean, we don't know for sure if that's even.
But that's apparently what she thinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course it also relates to the discussion of like. Whether or not Fushi can really come to terms in wanting to killing Hayase for what she's done, because Tonari mentions like on several occasions that certain people deserve to die for all of their for all the bad things that they've done, but Fushi also questions this method and whether or not if he should really kill Hayase for what she's done.
Yeah, that doesn't really get brought up as much as I thought it would be in this episode.
No.
Like his, I guess, moral dilemma about like whether he should kill Hayase or not.
No, but in the end, like the conversation, of course, ends with Tonari pretty much convincing herself that she should move on from her past and do something on her own for a change. So
and they also bring up the whole the man in black that Fushi talks to, and Tonari saying that like asking if it's God, and of course Fushi doesn't know what God is.
No.
So like they have a conversation about God and demons, and apparently like Tonari believes that the demons could be the knockers, and that like the Fushi's creator could be might be a god or something like that, or just equivalent to his to a parent of his.
Mm-hmm. And Fushi also mentions that the reason why he was created was to preserve the world. Now, like Tonari like believes that like Fushi has this greater purpose in wanting to, I don't know, like in a way, like save the world or something like that, or like something bad is going to happen to the world when if something bad happens, for example. It's
yeah, I guess like she's trying to say that Fushi maybe was created as some kind of a weapon against the Knockers, or because through as she says, to preserve the world. But yeah, we still don't really know what the Fushi's creator's real plan is, and he hasn't revealed anything about that.
And I mean, we still don't know much about the creator, nor anything about the Knockers, where they came from, whether or not if it's some kind of like eternal war that his creator was a part of before. But like we said before, like it's not known about what the real history is with Fushi's creator, or why Fushi was even created in the first place. Yeah, but pretty much the remainder of the episode ends up with Fushi having to fight the Knockers again, but this time the Knockers are possessing human corpses in the giant pit,
corpse pit.
Yeah, the corpse pit, which basically just turns them into zombies. And in a way, it's like it has to be like one of the more disturbing things that the Knockers have done throughout the entirety of the series so far. And I mean, like the Islanders managed to try to fend them off as best they could. Fushi at times, like he almost hesitates on several occasions because he doesn't think that he should go around harming humans. But of course, the Islanders convince him that these people are already dead. So Fushi, of course, manages to take down a couple of them. And of course, Tonari is also caught up in the mayhem. And just when she's about to get attacked, her friend, all of her friends just come back and save her from getting attacked. So, and for one thing, I don't even know how her friends managed to get off that boat and and get to the island. Of course, unless
they just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. So pretty much Fushi, Tonari, and her friends managed to fend off the Knocker horde for a time until I think Upa, the young girl, ends up getting caught and then being possessed by one of the Knockers. And then
we should also mention too that Hayase's guards find out that Fushi had actually escaped. And they do alert Hayase to these corpses rising up.
Yeah.
And we see her like watching over what's going on, but supposedly she just doesn't do anything about it. Like I wonder if she was just watching the whole time, or if she was like, I don't know. I assume she was watching because we never see her do anything. Like that's the last scene we see of her in this episode.
Well, so, minor spoilers. The preview does show that she will get involved in the next episode, but the rest of this episode just mostly focuses on Fushi and his friends. So once Upa gets possessed, Mia goes up to check on her. Unfortunately, Upa ends up impaling her with a spear, and of course, this pretty much catches everyone off guard as to what happens, and unfortunately, they see the results as to what happened to Upa.
Yeah. Yeah, like she gets impaled with the spear, and they try to get her away quickly so that they can try to do some kind of, I guess, try to save her somehow. But of course, there's nobody there that can really save her with the state she's in. She's been impaled with a spear, and she's if they remove the spear, she's going to lose blood more quickly. They try to get Fushi to produce something that might save her, but Fushi can't really do anything like that, or at least he doesn't really know how to. Nobody knows really how to save her. And I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious she's just going to, she was going to die as soon as she got impaled with the spear. So she kind of has this like final conversation with Tonari, and before she like passes on. And then I think they eventually do get found again by Upa, because the Fushi's creator says they only have like 3 minutes before the Knockers are going to find them.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have a lot of time to try to even try to save her.
Yeah. So Fushi, of course, tries to I guess, killed the Upa zombie, whatever. But of course, unfortunately, Fushi hesitates once more, which leads to the Knocker to take advantage and take the Perona form. And now pretty much all hell breaks loose. And now I think Uroi, the big guy, ends up getting nearly possessed by the Knockers. But of course, he ends up cutting off his left arm afterwards. So pretty much their plan now is to go back to the pit and try to destroy it somehow. But yeah, the remainder of the episode just shows that Upa, Uroi, and Mia all get possessed by the Knockers in the end.
Yeah, Fushi manages to get away by turning into the mole and then having the owl carrying him away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much all of Tonori's friends end up getting killed in this episode.
Well, other than one other guy. Yeah, there's one more guy, but I don't know how much time he has left, depending on how the situation.
Yeah, unfolds. I mean, the death flags they were always there, but in this one, I feel like even before, like right before this happened, there was like a really big one with that one scene with Tonori, I guess, dreaming about a potential future of her with Fushi and all her friends, and I felt like that was like a really big hint that they're not going to survive.
No, I mean, and
it also just tends to be sort of a kind of a formula with this series so far, is that everybody, we all these characters we meet in these different arcs end up getting killed somehow. So it's like you shouldn't get too attached to most of these characters, because it's most likely they'll end up dying somehow.
And also what this is going to do to Fushi after all, this is over, because he's like, I mean, he's gotten to the point where he feels like he just can't save anyone at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like all that's already left an impression on him. But I don't know. I'm still wondering what the deal, like what's going to happen between him and Hayase as well. Like, is he going to kill her or not? I mean, we have like 2 more episodes, so it's going to get to that point, I'm assuming, and I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm pretty sure Tonori's going to get killed, but I'm not really sure what the circumstances of that are going to be. She might just end up sacrificing herself or something like that, maybe.
Probably. And with Hayase being involved, it's not going to get any better, because I don't think Hayase has any intention of helping Fushi fight the Knockers. Or
Hayase might even kill her just to further antagonize Fushi.
Yeah,
because it seems like she almost like wants him to kill her.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, we only have 2 more episodes left, and honestly, this the finale is really ramping up to, like it's much higher stakes now.
Yeah, now we have zombies running around. So I mean, and I guess they got to find the core of that thing, because it's like it's just, no matter if you kill the zombies, it's still that thing's still underground, and it can just possess people.
Yeah, I mean, it's they just made like the Knockers the most OP villains in the series so far, because
I mean, it's because they take these different forms. Like there's these different versions. I mean, for a while we just had when we were first introduced to them, it was like some plant creature, and then it was like that giant stone bear thing, and now it's some kind of a parasite or something that turns people into zombies. Which I think is probably the most overpowered form it's taken because of what it can do.
And the weird thing is, like, Fushi's creator encourages him to fight the Knockers, but he just leads them into a situation which is even more impossible than the last. So like it's hard for me to think like why Fushi's creator would be this confident in believing Fushi would even take on the Knockers in this manner.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that Fushi is maybe just holding back or something, and maybe this will teach him not to, I guess, so he doesn't lose any more people.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, maybe there's some kind of hidden potential with him where he could easily get rid of them, but he's like, his whole moral dilemma of like not killing people is, I guess, is getting to him, supposedly.
Well, probably he might isolate himself in some way for some period of time just to avoid any interaction, but But yeah, like it's only a matter of time before the Knockers continue to keep looking for him in some way, which is I don't know. I guess Fushi will have no choice but to fight the Knockers in one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought this is it was a fairly decent episode. Like, it was just really sad. Like, I mean, I kind of expected a lot of this to happen. I just didn't, like I said, it didn't happen. I expected it to all happen like in the same episode, where a lot of these characters get killed in like the same episode. But yeah, I thought it was good. I don't really have much else to say about it. Like, I did think there was going to be like a confrontation with Fushi and Hayase or something, but I guess we got to deal with the Knockers first, and then maybe the confrontation between them will happen at like the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else to say about this episode.
Nah, I mean, it was a really dark episode for one thing, and honestly, I don't know how Fushi's gonna deal with the whole fallout of all of this. Once this is done, I mean. Who knows?
It's crazy when you think that this is the same person that did a silent voice in comparison to how that was. Like, this is all pretty dark. Like, I mean, that was pretty lighthearted in comparison to this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we only have 2 more episodes, and hopefully we'll get some news if we might end up getting a second season. I mean, I hope we do, seeing as like I think the manga is still going up to a certain point. But we don't know how much they're going to adapt for the next season. But right now, we'll just have to look forward for the next 2 episodes.
Yeah. So that all being said, until next Monday, we will see you all next time.